Hello everyone. Today I wanted to go through some of my mistakes that I made in my final placements match that I played yesterday. In this game I was playing support Tahm Kench, which isn't something I normally do, but I've been having fun with it for a while. So, not gonna go super in depth into everything because I made a lot of mistakes. I'm in silver right now, but there were some things that I took notice of and that I could definitely not repeat. So like right now I'm gonna arrive late to red buff, which is pretty bad, and it's just something that I really shouldn't be letting happen. Let me actually change the sound volume here. Okay. So like I said, I don't normally play support, so I was learning a lot through this game actually. And the first major mistake I make is right here, where I just make really bad trades, and I take a lot of damage for no reason, which ends up leading to this fight right here, where I go into Thresh, into the bush, and I basically take all this free damage for absolutely no reason, which forces me to flash. Obviously I didn't respect the damage that Vayne could do, because in my mind I was just thinking that Vayne has a bad early game, and so I should be fighting as much as possible, but with Tahm Kench that's not really going to work out. This is kind of the theme for this game actually, where I just don't pay attention to my weaknesses as Tahm. So speed forward here. I get caught by a hook, but stuff like that's gonna happen. So this lane plays out, nothing really exciting happens until here where Volley comes to gank. Now he's been pinging for the last like 7 seconds or so that he's coming, and I kind of just sit on my butt and don't do anything. Ashe tries to get the slow, but it doesn't really lead into anything, and that was definitely my fault. Something I don't do is I don't use Tahm's W as an aggressive tool, which people probably don't actually realize this in this elo, but he gets a speed boost when running towards enemies if you have an allied champion in your belly. And I could have very easily just eaten Ashe and then ran up, which is definitely something to keep note of. Ashe gets caught and nothing really happens. Okay. So in the early laning phase, I generally just make a few mechanical errors. Like here, I shouldn't be walking up close to the wall. Like Vayne should have stunned me there and killed me easily. Now here's a really interesting fight that I should really pay attention to, and I'll go in depth. So I backed up 15 seconds. So this is really bad, like I said, but nothing comes of it because Vayne is awful. But right now, Yasuo is leaving mid, and I can I believe I see this on my Fog of War. Okay. If I back up to 456. Okay, so right now Yasuo is mid, and I can see that. And then we have this small skirmish, and Yasuo is no longer mid. And I should be looking at my minimap, I should see this. He's no longer mid. Right now I should be spam pinging my AD carry to go back. But we're too focused on the low health opponents that we don't pay attention to Yasuo leaving. And so Yasuo comes, and I'll undo Fog of War. I do misplay here. I tongue at him, and that obviously he has wind wall. So I do what I can. I exhaust. And Thresh flashes, I guess, which hits me, but I get out alive because Tahm Kench. I can't really do anything now because I'm so low health. And they're still going in, which I guess that's fine, but I think Volley ends up dying here. I think they overstay. Maybe not. But yeah, so I played that fight pretty well, I think, but it shouldn't have happened in the first place. Like, I warded here too, or there was a ward here, and we reacted late to that, and I wasn't paying attention to mid. It's definitely something that I think I need to work on. Okay, so I'll speed it up a bit. Nothing super interesting happens for a while. We go up here to ward since Volley's here. So here, I'll actually back up a little bit. So I believe Yasuo gets the kill onto Panth in mid. He pushes forward with Tornado up and just dies. Now Quinn's here, can't really do anything. I'm on my way here too. And I don't think I could have played this better. Quinn ends up dying. Now something I could have done here is I could have grabbed a minion and shot it at him for the slow. I don't know why I didn't do that. And I just get hit up, and I believe he blocked my my tongue with a wind wall, but I definitely should have eaten a minion. I think that could have gotten us the kill there. The next mistake, I think this is pretty much the end of the mechanical errors, and now it's just like macro stuff. So I'll put Fog of War back on. Now Ashe sends out Hawkshot here, which seems kind of irrelevant, but it's actually important. She catches Thresh backing, and Vayne is all alone in lane. Now we play this really, really passively when we should be shoving the wave. Or at the very least, I should be zoning her. Shoving the wave is probably bad, but I should be zoning Vayne right now, whereas I'm just standing back for no reason. Like, she should be getting absolutely 0 CS while Thresh is not in the lane. So that's, once again, me not realizing the situation and just, like, doing nothing, basically. After this, the game calms down a little bit, I think. At least in terms of me. Speed it up a bit. Ashe sends an arrow, it doesn't do anything, people die. Okay. I will back up for this. Let's see what happened here. I don't actually have this noted. So I walk into the bush. He's gonna Q Ashe. He E's Ashe ults. And then I eat her. And get away. Yeah, they played this pretty badly. Yeah, okay, so they played it badly, nothing came of it. That really had nothing to do with our play at all. I tanked the minions a little bit too long there, but that's like nothing. Something that was pretty silly is I sweepered this bush for no reason. I'm not quite sure why I did that. I probably should have like used it over here because Thresh just put a ward there, but anyway. Kind of a waste. So we're coming up to a big play that I think I messed up. I was gonna look at it closer in here in this review. Okay, so it's coming up now. And I'll actually back up again. Okay. So Volley's in their jungle, and I believe he takes the blast cone out and comes down for a gank, which is exactly what happens. Ashe arrows. He flips Thresh, which is pretty bad. And then I get caught, which just shouldn't happen there. I have to bubble, which is pretty bad. Now, I wasn't protecting my AD carry there, but I get the eat onto Volley. Ashe does go down. The only way I think I could have saved her is if I was over by her when Malf ulted and I had W up. But then Volley might have died. And I don't really know which one I should have done. Obviously, this situation doesn't work out very well because Ashe dies, and I believe Volley dies too. He goes back in for the... I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. We get the kill on... Well, actually, we get the kill on Vayne, but it's an execute, so it doesn't matter. Obviously, hindsight 2020, but I think if I saved Ashe, it would have worked out better because she's ranged, and we could have probably killed Malf and gotten an attack onto Vayne. But yeah, I think I should have just been paying attention. Like, an alarm should have went off when Malf came into the fight, because Malphite ultimate. Like, I should have been protecting Ashe. So I'll probably... It's just me not being focused on what threats are present. So Panth comes up here. I try to, like, stop them from backing. We get the kill. I don't think he gets Thresh, but... yeah. He does actually get Thresh. Okay. So here I do something pretty stupid. I'm pushing the wave for no reason. I know Vayne died. I know Thresh died. I'm not gonna be able to push the wave to tower. And so this is doing nothing. All this does is it ends up setting it ends up putting the wave in a bad position. I believe it ends up right here, which is really good for Vayne, and it just kind of screws my AD carry over. This was just silly farming on my part. And then I back. So I should have just backed on that wave, and then we would have had the wave in the right position. So over here is another big mistake. Like I said, I don't normally play support, so I end up taking my own ult. I didn't even wait, I just double tapped R when Volley's right here, and we could have set up a gank. I even did it into this bush. So, and you can see that Volley actually comes down. So it's just me not looking at the situation. And there's actually a 4-man gank here, where I believe I end up dying. Yeah, I got Thresh hooked. I should have dodged it, but other than that, there's nothing I could really do. But if we had Volley right there, that could have gone differently. Much differently. Part of that too, if I go back, before the fight. Right before the fight. So right here at 1320, they take Dragon. So I know that they have Dragon. Obviously the noise plays and you can see the buff. That means that there is at least one person here, probably more than that, and we shouldn't be pushing up. Whereas we just walk past the wave. Like, this is complete disrespect for them. And Thresh just walks up. That was really stupid on our part. And I shouldn't have been in that position at all. Also, I wasted the exhaust on Vayne. I just noticed that. I think that's me. Yeah. So that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. And then there's a bunch of fighting around here. Oh, they actually got Thresh. That's nice. Nothing really happens because I'm dead. She dies. Not really a surprise. So I get back to lane. Slow it down. Panth ults bottom. We clear out the wave. And then I just sit around here. Literal sitting around. That's pretty awful because I know that they just left lane. Chances are they went back or they went to another lane. I should be taking this time to ward, like get some decent wards down, and I shouldn't have sweepered that bush again. Like, there is literally 0 point in sweeping that bush. But now I'm forced to ward. I mean, this ward's okay. Putting a control ward is there good defensively, especially since we've been ganked a lot. But I really should be warding like over here or in this bush or this bush. And I don't feel safe doing that because Thresh and Vayne are in lane. And I think that's fine, but I should have warded like 30 seconds ago. Especially since they're going to have pressure and he can just clear out that ward in no time. Also, I do that a lot where I'm indecisive about where I'm going. Something else I need to work on. Once again, there's a bit of a calm moment in the game. At this point, we're losing pretty hard, I'd say, in terms of morale. I remember people being pretty upset, the Volibear especially. Made it kind of hard to have any sort of like comeback, even though we're actually not down at any gold. Like 500 isn't much. And I think that's because of CS. Yeah, everyone's up ahead in CS aside from the Quinn and the Riven. Nothing much going on really. Speed it up a bit more, at least in bot lane. We are kind of just farming it out, but I don't know if there's something else we should be doing here since they're pushing in the tower. Like, if they're going to be spending their time bottom, I don't think we can really leave, even if I was being more proactive with my ultimate. So I think that's the right call, but I'm not sure. If you guys have like an idea for something else that I could be doing to have helped with mid and top, then that'd be nice, because I didn't feel like there's a whole lot I could do. Okay, so we're coming into another mistake that came up. Okay. So I believe I get caught by a Thresh Hook. Yeah. Now, it looked like I went and blocked Ashe. And I'm actually going to step back a second to check. Okay, so I do go up to block Ashe, but I think that's the bad call. Because I can eat Ashe. So I should have just let Ashe get caught if she was going to, and then not go up and take all my health and damage. I do bubble there, which is pretty good, but it ends up not being a good trade. I mean, Volley being here, I believe we do get the kill, but that was still stupid on my part. There could have been better execution there. I'm actually not gonna speed up. Basically, nothing happens, as you can see, until about 21 minutes in. I did take notes on this game. I skimmed through it to find out what I wanted to talk about. Okay. So here is a really simple mistake. If I go back a few seconds. Okay. So we just killed both of them, both Vayne and Thresh, and we're pushing this tower. Now I eat Pantheon here, and I spit him out. I didn't take tower aggro. I should have hit Malphite at least once, because I'm the tankiest person, and I have way more health than Panth does. But instead, he takes like 5 tower shots and nearly dies. I believe we don't get the kill. We get the flash, but that was just a mechanical error on my part. But we do get the tower. We shove the wave. Then we go back. So we're nearing the end of the game. There's about 5 minutes left, I think. But right here, another problem happens. And this is actually a common thing with me. So I think they're at Baron because obviously no one's on the map in terms of vision. In terms of our vision. So I go up. I don't see anyone. Right here, Thresh and Vayne come from behind Ashe. Okay? Now if I was Ashe, I would run this way. Obviously. You don't want to run like deeper into Fog of War. That's stupid. I would run this way. But as a support, I can't decide whether I should run down here or here. Which is like the most idiotic thing. Yasuo comes through here too. But if I was just walking this way, I could probably be about here right now. And I could have eaten her with the hook. Like I'm pretty confident I could have made it there in time. And then we could have just not fought. Instead, Quinn ends up getting caught, and that was just like bad in general. Here, I believe I get caught by another hook. No, Panth does. I eat him. Okay. We're just trying. We actually got pretty good damage on Riven, and here I get hooked, and I believe this ends up on me dying. Yeah. But that's not a hook I should have gotten hit by, to be honest. Yeah, that's... I should not be getting hit by a hook like that. I should have just... I even tried to walk straight away from it. That was just bad. And that's basically the game for us at this point. They get the inhib for free. So I think my main problems in this game was indecisiveness, for sure. Just... I lacked the ability to like trust myself to make a good decision, or any decision at all, and that ended up with a worse outcome. And then just I didn't pay attention to a lot of things on the map. There were several ganks where I just didn't do the right thing, and in my build I even go I have Equinox, I believe it's called. Yeah, I have the Equinox because I like the wards. I don't think that the shield that the other item gives me is worth it. I much prefer to have the wards because it seems helpful in my games, especially in this elo. But if I'm not making use of that, then it's pretty stupid for me to value the wards like I do if I'm not watching the map and actually making like actual use of them. So we have more fights. Nothing really exciting happens until about here. So this is the end of the game. And we saw Riven right here. We know they're down here. I believe they shove the wave and then come up to volley. That's what it is. So Thresh comes over, lanterns, nice by him. And they're trying to kill Volibear. And at this point, I do realize this, I believe. And I ult over here, which I think is the correct choice. It's now 2-on-2. That's on 3-on-2. So we get ulted. And it was really bad of me to stand there in the first place. I should always assume that his ultimate's up unless he's just used it. And I think I assumed that he didn't have it because in my mind he would have ulted away. But Yasuo's coming and he ults all three of us, and of course Yasuo ults. Now right here, right when we land, I eat Volibear. I still don't know, but I don't think that's the right move to make. Because Volibear in that like sliver of health pretty much has more than Panth. And I eat him and he's healing from his passive, so his passive was up. That was definitely the wrong play. And speaking of that, I spit him back into the fight despite the fact that we have vision over here. So we knew, or I should have known, that this fight was a loss. And again, I think it's the indecisiveness where I wanted to save Pantheon, but I ate volley, and so I sent him back into the fight when I shouldn't have. And that, of course, is game over for us. But like I said, I definitely think that my indecisiveness is probably the #1 problem. And just looking at the map more, I think every bad team fight we had that I was a part of, just looking at the map would have been more beneficial. And I think that's it. I'll probably do more of these because it actually gives me a lot of insight on what problems I have and what mistakes I'm making. But if you guys have any suggestions on the team fights, like what I should have done or mistakes I made, and like my warding is probably bad. So if you have any advice on stuff like that, I'd really appreciate it. And thanks for watching.